DC Rebirth Holiday Special Issue 1 with stories by various. We'll talk about the writers or whatever as we go. But yeah, so this is a Christmas special. The stories themselves seem to be in continuity, whereas the sort of bridging story around them, I imagine, isn't.
Yeah.
Well, maybe. I like the idea that it is as well.
I don't know. You got the rogues hanging out and caroling.
Yeah, you've got Batman. Yeah, you've got Batman and Superman hanging around with Harley Quinn. That's not actually happening.
I get that, but I like the idea that it's Christmas. We'll all just take a night off and have fun.
I mean, it's meant to be an interstitial, like, because you have Canary singing the 12 Days of Christmas, and each time it gets farther on, and Zatanna is actually pulling the things out.
Yeah.
In the song, so it's meant to be madcap and zany.
Yeah, there's even one of the sections of this wraparound is Raven keeps getting hit in the head with a book, first by Harley and then by Beast Boy.
Beast Boy.
So it's just a wacky wraparound thing. Wink, wink.
And also, this is the part that was written by Dini, because obviously last week we were a little bit. Was it last week? Yeah, I think we were a little bit worried that it was just going to recycle his Harley story from the Batman annual.
Oh no, very different.
Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yeah. So the first story was called The Last Minute. It's a Superman-Batman story written by Tim Seeley and art by Ian Churchill. And this is basically after Batman and Superman take down a monster together. It's Christmas Eve, and Superman's like, "Oh crap! That video game that John wanted." It's getting sold out everywhere. Everywhere's closing, so he has to rush off and try and get it. And Damien beats him to the punch, and we think it's Damien who wants it for himself, but it turns out Damien got it for John, and it's a nice little Christmas moment.
It was Jingle All the Way meets Superman.
Pretty much, with less threats for cookies and other things, but that was kind of.
It was nice. It was a lot of fun.
It was nice, and each time Superman makes a stop, he can't let these small things go, so he's intervening all over the world while hunting on this toy. It was nice, and then Damien not being a total jerk at the end, but he did kind of just to show up Superman,
Well, it's very Damien, isn't it?
Well,
it is.
Joe, I love those scenes when he's at the store and he grabs it before Clark does. I love that he's dressed in what like a businessman would be wearing, right? But not only that, not only has he got the long coat over his shoulders, but not in the sleeves like a sort of rich businessman. His scarf is red and his shirt is green. He's wearing the Robin colours. He's got the Power Rangers rules here in play.
Yeah,
he has to wear his
colours.
But I mean,
to be fair, they are Christmas colours as well.
That's true. Yeah.
Matter of coincidence. These are Robin colours.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say that, but Clark and John are also wearing red and green, so...
Well, yeah, you get to the scene where they're back at the Smith residence in Hamilton County, and they had Bruce and Damien over for Christmas dinner, and the Smiths/Kents are all wearing matching sweaters.
Yeah.
I thought that was a funny touch. So
my favourite moment was when... after he opens the present, Clark asks Bruce, did he know about this? And Bruce like, I'm the world's greatest detective. But no.
Yeah.
No, I did not.
And then later he challenges him to a game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's just nice, heartwarming stuff. Bruce been around for Christmas dinner. Even early on, John and Damien like on the phone to each other talking about their dads. Just this idea that we're building them knowing each other before we get to Super Sons.
I think that's the great thing about this. It's like, it's not a massive thing. It's just nice, but it's just good to see them have a relationship again.
It kind of just describes every story in this book, if I'm honest. Like, none of them are really... Like, you're not missing much if you didn't get the story out of it. It's just... If you like these...
probably the most Christmas spirit I've had all year, reading this.
Yeah,
probably.
True.
I don't know what I put out, actually. I've just noticed, because I'm sort of flicking through it as we go here, just to remind myself the stories as we're going, because there's too bloody many of them. But it's actually the wraparound here between these two stories. Harley's watching like a Christmas special, and like there's 3 cold-based enemies attacking Santa Claus, and it appears to be Captain Cold, Mr. Freeze, and Killer Frost. And I couldn't help but wonder to myself as I was reading this, what, no Cold Snap?
No Cold Snap. No Minister Blizzard either.
The newbies get the shaft until they kind of reach a bit more maturity next year.
Yeah, I also like that it looks like the old claymation ones. Like it's done in that style, so that was really funny.
Yeah. The next one is a story about John and Crypto. John wants to get him a present. It's called For the Dog Who Has Everything, which is a nice reference to a classic Superman story.
Yep, it's my favorite Superman story of all time. For the man who has everything.
It's written by Eric Esquivel. Esquivel? Yeah.
Close enough.
I'll go with that. And layout's been Dan Jurgens, funnily enough.
Yeah.
This was just another nice heartwarming story, which it's actually a pretty small one. It's only 2 pages. But it's basically just Clark and John going to the fortress, and John gets the idea to use Clark's old Superman belt from his old costume and turn it into a new collar for Crypto.
Yeah,
it's nice. Again, I
feel
like we'll be saying that a lot.
I feel like that pretty much sums it up. There's nice little moments like that, but that's pretty much it. The next one I feel like might be a favourite of someone's here.
Just before we go, I really like this interlude bit as well.
I'll go on.
It's they're all talking about they're doing their Christmas shopping, and Batman's doing his, and then everyone gets it saying, there's been a donation made in their name to one of the Wayne Foundation funds, and they're all really just pissed at him, and he's just like, "You're welcome," sipping the tea.
He's sipping the tea. He's basically like Kermit in that meme.
That's exactly what
it is.
Yeah, but that's none of my business.
He says, if Mr. Wayne were here, I'm sure he'd say, "You're welcome."
But that's none of my business.
No, I really like that page.
Yeah. Now, the next one's a Detective Chimp story where he teams up with Batman to find a stolen, what they think is a dog, turns out to be one of a reindeer.
I love this story so much.
It's so good.
It's called The Night We Saved Christmas, written by Heath Corson and Gustavo Duarte, and art by Gustavo Duarte as well. So, this is told in the style of a noir with Detective Chimp like narrating it and talking about the night and how much he dislikes Christmas and all that. Highlights for me, I think, here is his interactions with Alfred, and Alfred calling him as sharp as ever and all that stuff.
I like when he solves the crime that Bruce is working on.
Yeah, in seconds. He's just, it'll be this. Yeah. Whoever delivered those flowers, that's the killer.
And Bruce is just like, damn it.
Yeah. So it's basically just them hunting down, following the clues, going to different places. They find the elf, turns out to be a reindeer, and then the little touching twist at the end is that the guy who hired him, who he thought was a mall Santa Claus, they don't confirm it, but the idea is that he might be the real Santa Claus, and that they saved one of his actual reindeer.
Not just any reindeer.
It's Rudolph.
The red-nosed reindeer. But because when they find him and it's not a dog, it reminded me of Batman in the Annual in that first story, where he's like, "Alfred, this is not my breakfast," and then Batman sees the reindeer, goes, "That's not a dog," and I love when they play at Batman's detective skills like that. Like, Keenan at World's Greatest Detective.
It's a fun story. I'd argue this one's probably out of continuity.
Oh yeah, with Santa and whatnot, but this is the team that did Bizarro, the miniseries from last year, that I highly recommend.
Yeah, it was great.
It's more of this type of stuff where the comedy comes.
It plays like this plays a noir, that one plays a road trip.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, it's interesting that the art in this one, Batman, looks very Dark Knight Returns-esque, and it has
it's very Frank Miller, isn't it?
I was a little bit worried reading it, but then it did the complete opposite. Even the tease of blood, turns out the guy just spilled his drink, and Detective Chip shot a warning shot to the air.
Yeah, because the title page gives us this flash forward to this elf lying in the snow with the blood, and it looks like a shot from Fargo almost the way it's set up.
It's that classic moment though, isn't it, where it's like, oh, how did we get here?
Yep.
Yeah. The next story is a Constantine and Wonder Woman story, which I mean it was okay. That's probably was one of my.
I didn't understand it.
Yeah, I wasn't super into this one.
It's definitely one of the weaker ones.
They run into each other. He's looking for a witch. She's looking for who's she looking for again?
Dionysus.
Yeah, and they were spotted. These two people were apparently spotted together, and they then find them. And there's a an army of ghost witches that Constantine gets to help him a little bit, and
why not?
Yeah, and they capture them, and he makes a run for it. And
I do like that for these two characters. It plays up like the pagan side of things instead of just Christmas.
Yeah,
well, that's something
it works for these two.
The book kind of does that as it goes through, because it kind of goes in chronological order. Whereas by the time you get to the end of the book, it's doing New Year's and Three Kings Day.
Yeah, the Epiphany. Yeah.
So it kind of does that, and the joke at the end is that he's been having these dreams, and that's what he was trying to remove the curse for. So he dreams of sitting on Santa's lap at the end, as he's.
Yeah. Which I didn't think the payoff was worth it.
Yeah,
that was the whole thing. This is what you're gonna fight an army of witches for.
But even he's pissed off because his reaction in the dream is the same. It's like, damn it, really, this.
Yeah, this was the first one that I didn't really care for all that much. It was just kind
it wasn't as great.
Yes, if any evidence that the wraparound wasn't in continuity, we've got the Flash singing carols with the Rogues while Superman plays piano. I feel like that's probably
Poison Ivy and Harley sit at the bar discussing the spirit of Christmas.
But it does imply that this is all happening because Ivy has spiked all their drinks. So could be continuity.
But Gorilla Grodd's there too, Connor.
Yeah, Gorilla Grodd.
Shut up! Don't ruin this for me.
Alright, next is a Flash Christmas Carol, which is written by James Tynion IV and art by Robbie Rodriguez. And this was a delightful little story about how Flash has a pact with the Rogues after this one incident where the Rogues are stealing stuff from a bank, and he stops them, but in the crossfire of doing so, this truck of presents for all these new orphans and foster kids gets spilled over, and Captain Cold basically says, look, we'll return what we stole, you don't have to worry about us, just make sure all the kids get their presents. And they make a pact, and that's ever since then they always go offline, as it were, until after New Year's over the holidays, because they don't want to ruin Christmas for anyone. And Barry tells this story.
Return to form for the Rogues here.
Oh, I agree. Barry tells this story to a foster kid, and we see at the end, in the flashback, him running around delivering all these presents. Yeah. But then the kid gets up at the end of the issue after he's been told the story, and he sees the Flash dropping off his present, and Flash gives him a smile and speeds
I love
off.
this one.
It's a really nice. It's really simple, but it's a really nice, just heartwarming. Yeah, of course, Flash. There's always that joke where how can Santa do that all in one night? But the Flash. Yeah. He actually can do this in one night.
Of course, yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing this adapted on the show, for special Christmas episode.
They did it in Smallville.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But this would be better because it's the Flash.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a Superman fan.
Yeah.
The qualities.
Yeah.
So.
I'm not disputing that. Because that one, I'm pretty sure, had a drunk Santa who was trying to kill himself.
Or
something like that. Yeah.
We call that in Vegas just Christmas. So.
But yeah, no, seriously, this story was great because again, to say that some of them feel in continuity and some of them don't, this does, because I buy that the Rogues.
I buy this.
Well, and Tynion gets Leonard Snart because his whole backstory, and he bounced around houses because of his dad.
Yeah. How? By the way,
so he would have that.
Yeah, he has that. Barry has that as a foster kid. Yeah. So they have this bond. Yeah. How cool is it though to see that Tynion really gets a set of characters that aren't Batman? Because we've only really seen him do Batman stuff. It's nice to know that when he's done with Detective, hopefully in a few years from now, after a long, nice run, that let him do Flash after that point.
It feels like he's not just confident in the Bat universe; he gets DC in general. And
I kind of
so good.
think, that's why Snyder, I think, took a shine to him. Is he gets comics, at least DC. Because even his Red Hood and the Outlaws, I started reading that because it could only go up from the writer who won't be named. And it wasn't bad. It just wasn't worth getting every month back then. So I stopped. But he's only gone upward. He started in the backups and did Talon.
Pretty good, to be fair. The backup.
Yeah, and Talon was the one I really didn't enjoy, his Talon series. But since then, it's only been onward and upward. So
it feels like he's maybe being he's one of these that's groomed on the John's track, so to speak.
Yeah,
Where he's like, he can oversee things.
Yeah, I feel like in a few years' time it'll be Tinian, Orlando, and King or whatever that are like.
And don't forget Williamson.
And Williamson, yes, too, sure. But you know, like it feels like
new fresh blood of core people that are like.
It feels that way.
Forward.
It feels that way.
Huh?
The next story is 1 page long, which I actually did a double tick at the end when it said at the bottom.
Me too.
End.
Yeah.
And I looked back up and I was like, "Is this the start as well?"
I think I missed the end caption when I first flicked the page. I was like, "Hang on, we're back to Harley. This isn't new Superman."
Yeah, this is a.
It fits the character of Keenan though, doesn't it?
Oh no, it does. Yeah, absolutely. Like because the voices are on point, but the reason why the voices are on point is because it's Jean-Lin Yang who's writing it.
Right.
And we've got Andrea Mutate on art. It's called Day of Returning, and it's basically just Keenan back saying names.
Wonder Woman.
But sorry. What's her?
With an L.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will get to it later because we'll be talking about New Superman later. But they basically just come across well, first of all, they're arguing about why there's a traffic jam, and they all have different ideas. Although Batman turns out to be right. There is criminal activity on the road.
I like he's just like, crime is the cause of this.
Yeah.
And they basically come across a villain and they talk her down, and then they share some food in the holiday spirit at the end, and that's basically it.
Yep.
And I like that they put in a wee editor's caption telling us what that food was, because just to put it in context. Because I didn't know what
good.
Tang Yun was, but no. Sweet rice balls with black sesame filling. That's not bad.
I'm down for trying some of those.
Sweet rice balls does sound nice. Then we had back to the wraparound. Harley's got her her cross between antlers and the candles, the Jewish set of candles.
Menorah antlers.
And she sets the stage on fire. Hijinks, of course. Then we get our next main story, which is Light in the Dark, which is a Batwoman story, written by Kay Perkins, artist by Paolo Pantalina. And this is a story of Batwoman kind of... She runs into this guy, and there's a blackout, and he's set this up so that she'll contact her old buddy Kit. And she's like a sort of hacker Oracle type character, and they team up to save him, and because he's involved, he's trying to blow the whistle on his company that's doing illegal stuff,
arms dealings, yeah.
And that's basically it. Honestly, I didn't think the main sort of like we need to save him and defeat the villain plot, I didn't think much of. I did like the ending with them sitting in a diner with pie.
Yeah, it was another one where I feel like it would have almost been better without the plot.
Yeah.
Like if you just had them all kind of get together for another reason.
I think if you just had Batwoman there on her own, but then her old friend shows up and they reminisce, and then it's like, oh yeah, tell us the story your dad used to always tell you. That could have been the whole thing in like 2 pages, and that'd have been maybe better than this whole plot. That said, though, I mean,
the story of Hanukkah as an action movie pitch, that cracked me up.
Yeah.
But it was fine. It was just maybe by this point, we're really deep into this very long book at this point, so it was like, this could have been shorter, and it would have probably benefited from it.
Yeah.
Then it was the books hitting Raven in the head gag that I was mentioning earlier, and then we had a Titan story, which is in continuity. And do you know what I love about this? I love that this Titan story plays with the idea. They did this very wisely. They know what the last issue of Titans was, and it's the one that ended with Wally getting out of the Speed Force, right?
Yep.
And they've done this so that we think, oh, is he actually really gone? No, I don't think he is. I think he's back in the next issue. But they knew this was coming in between those two. So the reason he's probably not there is probably for something else. He's probably with Barry or something at New Year's.
Could be. It also sounded like this was post the Titans hunt. So they're together as a team. And the Wally stuff hasn't happened yet.
No, because they wouldn't remember him. They didn't remember him until he showed up. Didn't they mention him?
But do they... Oh, they do mention Wally?
Yeah, because
okay.
where someone says, no one's fast enough because Flash isn't here.
Oh, okay. I skimmed over that.
Yeah, so it's
this point in this book.
It's I think it's Donna that says it.
Yeah, I know someone says it. But yeah, so it's definitely after. And the villains they're chasing are 2 of the assassins who I think were in Titans Hunt. Which is maybe why you're making that connection.
That's, yeah.
Yeah, they're on the loose in New Year's, and the team have to run around and grab them. And it's all about Roy wanted to come out for New Year's and watch the fireworks because he wanted to bond as a team, and he gets a kiss off Donna, and they have a nice moment. My favourite part of this though is that it ends, or you think it's ending, but then Dick's like, wait a minute, I'm late, and they tell him to run off, and it's actually him and Batgirl meeting on the same bridge that they met on in Nightwing issue 1, which was a really nice callback and a sweet touch. Especially both of them running late and thinking the other one's waiting on them.
Yeah, it's so them, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like that. What's the story where the guy sells his comb to buy stuff for the wife's hair, and the wife sells her hair. You know that's the one. Story by O. Henry. I'm just gonna stop digging then.
Yeah, sorry.
But
yeah,
it's a Spirit of Christmas story. Yeah.
Interestingly, this one page sort of thing that tagged on to the end of Titans has actually got its own team. It was actually Bill Freeberger who wrote it and Thomas Patilli who did the art for this one page. But that was cool. I thought it was a nice touch.
Yeah, I love the dual panels of them both climbing up the opposite sides of the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was really cool. Especially because I love how DC really do this with their caption boxes now, where they all have like Nightwings looks like this, Batgirls looks like this. You know, it's always the same across the books. And it's just nice in that dual side by side thing. His like blue boxes on the left and her purple ones on the right, and it just adds to the symmetry of it. And especially at the bottom of the page when the fireworks are going off around him, all the ones on his side are her colour purple, and all the ones on her side are his colour blue.
Yeah, it's really nice.
It's just simple little touches in the colouring, which is really cool. And then we have a Green Lantern story, which is called The Epiphany. Steve Orlando wrote this, and V. Ken... Oh wait, sorry, no. Wait.
Two of them were on the script.
Yeah, I got confused here because there was two names, then script, and then pencils.
Yeah, so it's Orlando and...
Vita... this was, remember this name?
We did this last time, yeah.
And the V...
I got it here on the credits page, guys. It's Vita Ayala.
Yeah, we couldn't tell if it was a V or you the last time this name popped up.
Yeah, we did this last time.
And then Viken Maroney, Marion is on the pencils. And I'm almost surprised this was Orlando, looking at it now, because I didn't think this was that great.
It was a stretch.
It felt very random to me. Yeah, I don't know. It was like...
It felt like it was at a different place in the story to where we are as well. Like, you know, like the Titans one, we say, oh, this one could have literally just been after the last issue of Titans. Whereas this feels like there's stuff going on that we haven't got to yet.
Yeah, especially since, like, after these alien guys, like, disappear and they call Hal, and Hal's like... Which, by the way, can't they not call Hal right now?
Well, that was the thing, because they were talking about how they can't get in contact with Mogo. I was like, hang on. Do they even know about Mogo yet?
Yeah, and then, like, so once the thing's gone, though, presumably the communications thing's, you know, the block's gone, and they call Hal, and Hal's like, yeah, there's, like, no reports of anything in that area. Like, there's been no aliens there. Like,
yeah.
So it's like, I'm not sure what it's implying. Like, they've had some sort of weird shared vision, or this is like a magical group of beings, or what? Like,
I think they just don't detect on the scanners.
Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I wasn't super into.
No.
I think this Rebirth special, I think it was very like front heavy. Like the first like 3 or 4 stories I really liked. Then once it hit the Constantine one, it kind of was down a bit from there.
Then Flash picks it back up.
Back up, but even something like the Batwoman one, which I liked to a point, and the Titans one, which I really liked the ending for, you know, the actual main actiony bits felt a bit kind of...
I think overall, though, I enjoyed it a lot more than the ones I didn't.
Oh yeah, no, I would agree with that. It was worth reading.
I came out feeling really positive overall about it.
Yeah, and I felt Christmassy, so...
And then I really liked the end page as well, where we're back to the Harley stuff, and they drank all the budget again at the Paddy's Day party, which was what she was complaining about at the start.